Hey, this is Charles from Los Angeles.
Charles from Los Angeles. What's on your mind?
Hey, Majority Report. I'll try to be very quick here. I'll preface a couple things quickly and get to my point. I'm a Tesla stockholder, and I own one of their automobiles.
Oh, I apologize.
I'm in agreement with the show on Elon Musk. To save time, I won't go through the litany of bad things we don't like about the man, from Twitter, I guess now X, to billionaire taxation and everything in between. As an investor in Tesla, my critique is that many of his actions, Twitter, tweeting, etc., violate what I consider to his fiduciary responsibilities to his shareholders. I think I'm in a small minority of shareholders who would like to see him replace the CEO. My vote on the last stockholder meeting was a no for him to continue as a CEO of the company. Let's be frank, Musk is not designing the cars, doing the engineering, building the rockets, etc. I mean, he may provide oversight and direction, but his companies are full of smart people doing the heavy lifting. His real value, in my estimation, is hiring smarter people than himself, much like maybe Walt Disney did, which brings me to my point. Elon Musk is a modern day Henry Ford. The parallels are not one-to-one, but very similar. Henry Ford bought the Dearborn Independent and used it to promote all manner of his crazy beliefs. Elon Musk bought Twitter, X, and using it to promote all manner of his crazy beliefs. Henry Ford was anti-union and labor. Elon Musk is anti-union and labor. Henry Ford advocated for various right-wing governments and movements. Elon Musk has done the same. He advocates for right-wing movements and governments. But here's the thing where it gets, I think, even more insidious, if it wasn't bad enough already. Both men are highly successful industrialists. Henry Ford created the automobile assembly line, bringing down the cost of automobiles. This process basically revolutionized the automobile industry.
Right.
Elon Musk has by and large revolutionized, much like Henry Ford, the automobile industry with Tesla electric cars. His cars and processes are aped now by almost every other manufacturer. So yes, I would agree Elon Musk is terrible. But unfortunately, being terrible does not exclude one from creating and running highly successful automobile companies. If we are to look at the history of companies, and on the show we like to talk about history and context. So I think that's important to remember. A twice a day broken clock can still be very successful. Ferdinand Porsche. You can go buy a great Porsche automobile, was an officer in the Waffen SS during World War II, and he created some of the most famous tanks for the Nazis during that period. Volkswagen used forced labor to build their cars during the Holocaust. And here they are. You can walk in and buy your, VW, whatever model.
So wait, so let me.
Certainly, it's a great car.
Yeah, no, I mean, I.
So yes, but Joe, yes, terrible, but unfortunately highly successful.
Well, I don't think it's. I think the unfortunate thing about his success is just that I don't think that people should be allowed to amass that kind of money, period. I mean, regardless
of
complete
agreement.
Regardless of whether the guy shouldn't be
taxed.
Yeah, regardless of whether the guy is as much of an a-hole and a charlatan, in my opinion, as he is or not. That doesn't matter. And I think there is, the value of Tesla to the EV, the push to EV, I think is pretty obvious. It made, electric vehicles far more sexy than they had been at that point, and became something that people could sort of recognize that they would own. Is Elon Musk because of that a net in society? I'm less sure of that, to be honest with you, because I think getting to electric cars was inevitable. There's also, I could do all sorts of counterfactuals where there is no Tesla and some other car manufacturer steps up and does it, doesn't necessarily create proprietary charging stations, et cetera, doesn't sell society on this whole concept of self-driving vehicles that turned out to be bunk. I think we can all agree. And had an impact on the way in which we approached that industry and where we went, not too dissimilar from how Bill Gates and the Gates Foundation set education off on a very bad path, one which we're starting to see the implications of weakening education in this way and sort of undermining its support amongst people. We're starting to see vouchers and this and that. On top of which, the whole solar panel, is tile thing, as far as I can tell, was a complete scam. And we have yet to see the implications of all of that scammery. We certainly saw him, undercut the push to, things like the fast train out on the West Coast and broadening public transportation. So I don't know, even though I will acknowledge the value of Tesla cars in pushing our society with EVs. I don't know that I would still consider him a net, and I don't know.
Well, that's Sam. Sam, that's my point. My point, I prefaced it with, as an investor, I don't see him as a value to the company. His main benefit to the company is basically he hires people who are smarter than he is. Now, that goes back to the...
Yeah, no, I'm suggesting...
Twice a day.
Right. Yeah, you might be right. But
he can have... Even if his other stupid ventures, like X, and you pick your litany of things that you think is bad, he can still have a profound impact, a powerful impact, and we both agree that impact is not necessarily a great thing, and in fact can have many detrimental effects on society. You pick your list. But my point is, and I'm just, from a perspective as an investor, I know this is not a business show, but I think that we still have to consider viewpoints of investors in sort of our critique of him, is that basically I voted and I don't want him as a CEO of the company. I don't think as an investor he provides or is having a fiduciary responsibility for me as an investor. And quite frankly, given that Tesla has, and his other companies have an enormous amount of smart people working within those companies, him, going to run off X on his own and doing whatever else he's doing, I don't think it would affect his companies or the companies that he's running now in any significant way.
Yep. Well,
and I would completely agree with your analysis.
We're in agreement.
And there's no disagreement.
Well, I don't know, and I wouldn't say no, but broadly, enough that I feel comfortable ending the call, that we have enough agreement for that.
I would just say on the success, I think that could be overstated.
Appreciate it.
Like Henry Ford brought vehicles to basically democratize the automobile. Now you can say that might be for better or worse. I don't think Elon's done that. He's made it. I think he's like Apple Steve Jobsified the electric vehicle. So I don't know that.
But even that, I mean, Steve Jobs, at least the branding of the company and the way that I guess it was presented was much more cohesive, and the product is better. Tesla's freaking fall apart.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing is I don't think they are as nearly as successful. Look at the Tesla truck windshield wipers. Henry Ford could make a windshield wiper. I think Elon needs to do a better job at hiring smart people, or at least they are not empowered to do things like make steering wheels and windshield wipers.
Yeah.
Glad the guy was able to make so many billions of dollars that he can go around on a whim and completely, screw up major components of society based upon having exploited people who are then smarter than him.
Money lets bullshit defy gravity, and that's what I think the Tesla car is. I don't think it's the same thing with Henry Ford's Model T.